Hey everybody, this is Lots of Ringwear back with another video, and today I just wanted to make a short video about a couple of records that I picked up recently. First, this is the 1962 German release of My Bonnie Has Twist under the title. The original one from 1961 has Rock. Haven't been able to get that one as of yet. And on B-side as The Saints. This was obviously recorded by the Beatles back in 1961 when they went to Germany, were performing in Hamburg, and got a job backing up Tony Sheridan on this record and other records. The German version has the German intro with Tony Sheridan, and of course in 1962 there was a UK version of this record which has the Beatles on the label, this as opposed to the Beat Brothers on this label, with an English intro. That was in 1961. 7 years later, this record came out. A young lady, American teenager, went to Germany and seeking her fame and fortune, and got a job in the cast of the German version, the German cast, I think it was in Munich, of the Broadway musical Hair. And that was performed in German, sung in German, and she sings the song Wassermann, which literally means waterman, and we know it better as Aquarius. And her name was Donna Gaines. And eventually, years later, she would get married and become Donna Summer and achieve her success as a disco queen. Basically, she was the queen of disco in the 1970s. And I'm just bringing this up. First, here's the picture sleeve. Comes with a picture sleeve. This came out in 1968. And she's somewhere in this picture. Anyway, the reason I bring these records up is because they were recorded just 7 years apart. Both the Beatles and Donna Summer went to Germany, made their first commercial records there. And if you think about it, what was music like 7 years ago? From this point, let's say 2015, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, really hasn't been much of a difference. I mean, for me, others would disagree. You have this formula, what I call the American idolization of music, where everything is done by contests and people win contests, and there's a formula and everybody comes in with a built-in audience, because record companies don't want to take risks anymore with putting out lots of records if nobody's going to get a hit. So, and it's much more expensive to record a record, to produce a record now than it was in the 1960s. So it's not just about going to a small studio anymore and producing a record. It's very expensive. So that's basically it. I mean, you know, you have the Disney girls and rap. Everything has a formula. Everything sounds the same. And in the 60s, people, you know, worked. They worked for years and years. Sometimes they failed miserably at putting out with their records. I mean, the Beatles, you know, struggled for a while before they had their success. Donna Summer, the Supremes put out, I think, a dozen records before they had a hit. So I mean, that's really the difference between music now and music back then. And you have the artists that the Beatles, of course, that defined the 1960s music, and Donna Summer, who defined the 1970s music with disco. And they made their first record just 7 years apart in the same country, and that's really amazing. That's just my commentary. Anyway, I'll be back next week with another Beatle vinyl video. Everybody take care.